Warner Brothers Ranch began as the Columbia Ranch in 1934 and took its final bow in 2023. Of the 15 main parcels on the ranch, Block G saw the greatest changes, and its last structure was the house from the TV series The Middle. However, this lot saw 4 distinct designs over the decades. An early map gives us some clues about the original sets there, but the corner church was the first named structure on this site in the 50s. When it was moved to Blondie Street from another location, the entire structure was elevated slightly to obscure the view of the sets behind it. The foundation of the church was poured concrete, and despite many fires, the original church foundation and part of its lower stucco wall survived until the end. In August of 1970, a fire destroyed the corner church, and behind it, most of the convent set seen in The Flying Nun. The church was replaced with a house called The Residence, and in a scene from The Partridge Family filmed after the fire, we see Danny walking through the actual construction site for this new house. The Residence first appeared in Season 8 of Bewitched, and we also see the newly rebuilt Partridge House in yellow. And here's the water tank. The Residence had guest roles in many TV series of the 70s like Starsky and Hutch and NBC's Ghost Story. In 1985, the attic window was briefly removed for Pee Wee Herman's bike chase, and in more than one series, the unlucky house was blown up. Behind the house, the portion of the convent set destroyed in the fire was not rebuilt. Instead, the surviving structures were modified to represent a Mexican village, and many shows and movies utilized this set until the mid-90s. It played a military installation in a deleted scene from Ghostbusters, and it was redressed to play locations in France, 16th century England, the Middle East, and a fictional island in the series Search. In 1987, the facade was reimagined as a 2-story house for the 1988 film Moving, preserving the brick retaining wall from the church and adding a large second floor. It was called the Pear House after the family that lived there. The interior has never been used for filming because it has no depth, and it shared a back wall with the west side of the Mexican village. In the film Lethal Weapon and its sequel, shot in 1986 and 88, we see the transition from the Residence to the Pear House in nearly identical shots from the 2 films. In 1989, the house appeared again in Christmas Vacation, but in the early 90s, the house got an update and a new name, the Bel Air, and this name endured until the end. However, the house had one final starring role to play, and in 2008 it was redesigned to become a single-story, ranch-style home for the Heck family in The Middle. The brick retaining wall was removed, and the yard was graded to the sidewalk to reflect the show's lower middle-class family. Again, the inside wasn't intended for cameras, and the home's interiors were built nearby on Stage 31. The set behind the Bel Air was reduced to a storage lot in 1996, but remnants of the Mexican village were still present when The Middle began production in 2008 because part of the village set was attached to the back of the house. The surviving element, the arches and stairwell, have been seen in dozens of TV shows, and they were unintentionally preserved when this portion of the set was covered with a flat while removing the upper floor of the house. The outline of the arches could be seen from both outside and inside the house, and along with the stairs and railing, remained in good condition for 50 years. Although this set was never filmed again, the exterior got some screen time in The Middle, a production well known for using every square inch of the ranch in its 9 seasons. After the show ended its run in 2018, the house got a minor facelift to make it more attractive, then made some fleeting appearances in both TV and film. In Young Sheldon, it escaped the wrath of a tornado that destroyed the Partridge House next door where Sheldon's grandmother lived. The Bel Air also had a cameo in the holiday movie Family Switch. One of the final images of the facade was taken from the entryway of another famous neighbor, the Bewitched House. Sadly, the ranch was demolished in 2023 as the demand for production facilities created 16 new sound stages. However, its legacy survives in the rich cinematic history that we continue to cherish.